Welcome to my newly formed dining room table production studios. In this particular movie, 52 Pickup, I'm going to try to explain the sorority recruitment using the release figure methodology and bid matching, which seems to be kind of confusing for a lot of folks. In this scenario, we've got 4 sorority houses on campus. We have Alpha Alpha, Beta Beta, Gamma Gamma, and Delta Delta. In this case, just to make things easy, and because I have the alphabet letters, we're going to have 52 potential new members. That being the case, we'll break the girls up into 4 recruitment cohorts. Each of them will have a row chi, who is their recruitment counselor, and then they will begin the process. All right, round 1. This round takes longer than any other round. On some campuses that have a lot of sororities, it may take them 2 to 3 days to finish all of the round 1 parties. In this case, we have just 4 houses, 4 parties, and the row chis oftentimes have different color clothing that they're wearing so that their girls can find them. So we start, everybody's kind of alphabetical. We got them in groups, and then after when the girls get to the house, the sisters come out, sing door songs, and if you've never heard a door song, you're really missing something. They have the girls come into the houses, do a little bit of meet and greet, what's your name, where are you from, what's your major, and then it's on to the next party. And the row chis just kind of move them along like they're little gondolier drivers in the canals of Venice. And so we're on to the next round of parties. Same thing happens. What's your name, where are you from, what's your major? Meet back up with their row chis, get back on their gondolier, and they're off again to the next house. Okay, same thing happens again. What's your name, where are you from, where's your major? And they meet back up with their row chis. They move from house to house, and this gets everybody to the last house for the day. With all of the sisters being in the houses and every recruit being in the house, for those campuses that have round 1 in the summertime, it can be really, really hot. And they generally suggest that the first round, the girls wear like a sundress, comfortable shoes, bring blister stuff, whatnot. But round 1 is now over. Okay, after round 1, there's a lot of ranking that goes on. Every one of the potential new members gets to rank the houses. Going from left to right on this spreadsheet, you can see how each particular member has organized their group. Going from top to bottom, each one of the houses also ranks the members. In this case, since we have release figure methodology going on, the sororities have agreed to release 25% of the girls. So in other words, 13 girls will be released and will not be invited back to each house. Okay. Okay, now after all the ranking goes on, each of the girls only gets to go back to 3 houses on the next round. Some of them may get 4 invitations, so they have to decide who they're going to decline. Some girls may not get 4 or 3 or 2, sometimes not even 1 invitation. But the girls have to decide. In this case, they have been invited back to the houses listed in blue. They have not been invited back to the houses in green. And the ones that I have highlighted in gray are the ones that they are declining to go to. In this case, we have 4 girls on the list who I've made a note about. Now, Miss Black Eye up here got 2 invitations, but to her bottom 2 houses. So she decided to drop out of recruitment. So that means that as far as formal recruitment goes right now, sorority recruitment is over for her for the time being. The other 3 girls got invitations, not necessarily to the ones that they wanted to go to, but they decided to continue in recruitment. Now, using our list that we'll use to keep track of what's going on, I have put Miss Black Eye on the list that says that she dropped out of recruitment. Okay, now once we start the round 2 parties, we now have 51 potential new members. All right, at the start of the round 2 parties, what you need to realize is that not every girl is going to be going to every party. There are still 4 parties, just like there were in round 1, and some of the girls will sit out a section sometimes because there's 4 parties you're only allowed to go to 3, you're going to sit out one section at least. And that can be confusing for some mamas and some grandmothers who wonder why their little darling has a hole in their schedule. But that's how that works. Now notice here in each of the row chi groups, what I've done is the girls who are sitting out are down here around the sign that says round 2, and the girls who are actively at the parties, the first group, are in here. I'll do this for each one of the sections so that you can see who goes to every party. All right, now here we have the second group of parties in round 2, and the girls who are at the parties and the ones who are sitting out. Now remember, this isn't harsh because nobody gets to go to all 4 parties anyway, so everybody gets a break during the course of the day. All right, now here's the third group of the second round parties. Once again, you can see which girls are at the houses and which girls are being able to take a break during this time slot. All right, last party for round 2 parties. Now these may actually be the philanthropy parties. It really doesn't matter. Different schools have different numbers of rounds and they put their parties in different orders. But once again, on this last round, you can see which girls are at which houses and which girls are being able to take a break during this time slot. All right, now all of the round parties are over. It's time to decide who's going to go to preferential parties. We're going to have a ranking of girls and houses once again. Once again, you can see on the list that each one of the girls gets to rank their houses. I kept their third house on here because sometimes if they don't choose to go back to that third house, they may be eligible for a SNAP bid later on, and that just kind of stays in the play. Notice sometimes that the top 10 may sometimes be the top 10 potential new members in everybody's groups, and that can be kind of hairy. Once again, we have a release figure line. In this case, Alpha had the most people attending, but we decided that 27 is the number for each house to invite back for preference. Keep in mind that if a house invites a girl back for preference, they will offer her a bid. Okay, now after we work through that mess, the girls get their thing and they have to decide, which 2 houses that they're going to go to. Obviously, they don't get 3 bids. In this case, I've got some notes out to the side again. Miss Red K drops out because she's left with just her original lowest house and she doesn't want that, so she's dropped out. Red M has also dropped out because at the last minute she decides, you know what, I think I want to go to dental school and I need to keep my grades up. And then also Black T drops out because in the ensuing all the information she's gotten, she's decided that she really can't afford to join a sorority in the first place. And on the sad side, we've got 3 young ladies who have been released from recruitment, and their row chis are the people who have to go and break that bad news. They generally are released because they have not been invited back to any parties. So going with my list over here that we started earlier, we're going to add Miss Red K to the dropped out list, Miss Red M to the dropped out list, Miss Black T, and then we will put little Miss Red H, little Miss Red I, and little Miss Black X in the released column. And that gets us ready for the rest of the evening, because even though rankings are done and things have been matched up, the work has just begun to get ready for preferential parties. All right, you can see now it's nighttime and the stars are out, and the work is not finished yet. It is time to get these houses ready for prep. Okay, now what's going to happen is the houses are going to start blinging themselves out. Every house, they'll bring out some extra decorations, extra color, maybe balloons, more flowers, whatnot. But this preferential party, this is their last big chance to convince the potential new members that you want to be a member of our house and not that other house that you're going to. Okay? So they're likely to bring out the bling. Don't be surprised if they bring in some extra flowers. Okay, make things real pretty around the house. Okay. More flowers for Gamma Gamma. You know, you may even have the sisters, you know, they will probably dress up in evening gowns. The potential new members generally come, you know, in Friday night cocktail wear, but, you know, we want to make things pretty, you know, for the girls that are coming in on prep night, because like I said, this is the sister. This is their last chance to convince these young ladies that you want to be wear our letters instead of somebody else's letters. And so everybody gets a little bit of bling. A few extra flowers. Okay. Make up for all that body odor from the rest of the week too. I guess we got to do something about that, huh? Okay. A little bit of bling. Now if you live in the South like I do, you can probably expect the sisters are going to pull out their nice cloth napkins. Okay. And if you get really lucky, the sororities are going to pull out their silver punch bowls with their punch ladles. And since I'm in the South, I'm pulling out the silver. Okay. And don't be surprised if they bring in a little bit of mood lighting with some candles. Okay, we want things to glow and serenade and really kind of, you know, work on people's emotions that they want to be in your sorority. So things are ready. And at this point in time, as we start this last round of parties, we are down to 45 potential new members from our original 52. All right, so prep parties are generally held in the evening. Hopefully it's a beautiful starry night. The weather's great. There's mood lighting. Each of the potential new members is probably met at the front door with the person who will likely be her big sister. Maybe give her a flower. She's ushered into the house. She meets a lot of people. There's a lot of wooing going on. Oh, please, I can't wait for you to be my sister. Begin to kind of make some plans. This goes on for quite a while. There's some serenading that takes place, and hopefully, you know, when the potential new member goes down the sidewalk and the sisters are waving to them there, and the only thing they have in their mind is, oh, I can't wait to come back to house letter letter, because I want letter letter to be what I wear on my chest for the next few years. So this is the first group of girls who have been at the prep parties. All right, second set of prep parties. Once again, the potential new members are met at the door by the young lady, the sister who will probably be their big sister for the following year. Notice here on the prep party sign, some girls didn't get invited to both prep parties, so generally what happens is they're asked to come to the first party and then they go home for the evenings. It might seem like Delta Delta has kind of a small crowd, but keep in mind that they had a fairly larger crowd the first time around. And once again, we've got all the, oh, can't you just wait for us to be sisters, and introducing them to people, you know, I think they'd give you a pedicure if they thought that you would join, but they don't do that. So prep parties, setting the mood, final chance for the sorority sisters to convince potential new members to wear their letters and not somebody else's. All right, parties are over. All the potential new members have gone home. The linens will be picked up and placed in the laundry. Okay, the silver gets counted and put away for the year, or you know, for however, whenever they do this again, maybe initiation night. Okay, the mood lighting gets snuffed out. All right, but we still have work to do. You know, they don't call this work week for nothing. And there's a lot of no sleeping that goes on during recruitment week. All right, now here's where the final bid matching goes on. The girls have got to rank, you know, which of the two houses, if they went to two houses, what's their top pick, what's their second pick. You know, everybody's kind of got in the background, or, you know, who will I select a snap from if that's kind of where I end up going. And then the computer process starts going through, starting to check on, you know, all the first choices, anybody who's a first choice that, you know, they're top choice is their first choice, they get kind of moved up into the member list, and it goes down and it works its way through. I'm not going to go through all of that, but eventually what we end up getting here is that in our case, all 4 of our sororities have filled their list. 2 of the sororities, unfortunately, did not make quota. Beta Beta got to 11, Gamma Gamma got to 10, but with 45 potential new members and 48 slots available, that leaves 3 girls. And in the going through the snaps, in this case, I didn't have anybody who was eligible for a snap, based on what was going on, but that's okay. And now the final little countdown, last little bit of work for the evening is going to happen as the sisters get the houses ready for tomorrow, which is going to be bid day. All right, it's bid day. Everybody's waking up. Yeah, baby. Nobody has to dress up. Everybody gets to wear shorts and tank tops. Sisters probably haven't slept all week. All the potential new members got someplace that they're going to meet with their Rokais. After an unrevealing of letters, everybody gets to see who the Rokais' regular letters are, and then the bids go out. And then, woo! Squeal day happens. And the bids go out, and our new members for our sororities are Alpha Alpha, Beta Beta, Gamma Gamma, and Delta Delta. Squeal, 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 squeal. Everybody runs to their houses, whether they're escorted or not. There are bid day pictures going on. There's lots of music. There's silly string. There's balloons. There's bubbles. There's parents. There's photographers. All the girls are going to get their sorority jersey today. They'll put that on right over their little tank tops, get all their pictures made. They'll line up, all the chairs are out there on the streets, the photographers come through, get all the pictures. People run by with the selfie sticks, taking movies. Lots and lots of fun. If you've never been to bid day in the South, I suggest you come on because it is a party on steroids. All right, I hope you enjoyed the show, and keep in mind that 52 Pickup was brought to you by the newly formed Dining Room Table Productions. Hope to see more of me in the future. This is a little project. These are the kind of projects I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I just hadn't been doing them. But now that I've figured out how to work Windows Media Live, or whatever the heck it's called, I might have a little bit more fun. So go forth, multiply, recruit, and have a great time.